Welcome back, everyone, to episode 5 of the Los Angeles Angels and OOTP 24. I like to welcome everyone to the channel. This is Who Gaming. Real quick, just give you an update on everything that's going on with the team. We just made a signing of an international starting pitcher, which means I have to learn his name. Toshiya Yarahara, I'm guessing, is a logical guess, but that may not be right. It's probably not right. You guys might have to tell me how to pronounce it because I'm not too sure. But this is a really good contract signing for us. I like this. Most likely, I don't like the player opt out. That's the only downside to the deal. But to get it had to happen, I had to add a player opt out with a few team options. I'm hoping to get valuable use out of him and flip him, honestly, is what the hope is. But I hope that with his stuff and ability and what he can do, that he's good for us. We will slide him into the two spot behind Shohei Ohtani. We are kind of creating a pipeline from uh, Japan to Los Angeles, which I like. I actually think um, the pipeline, meaning for the LA Angels to get another Japanese player, I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen again. I'm not sure, but I do think Otani has started something to where we will start to see uh, Japanese players come over more and more and have success, kind of like that little run when Ichiro came over and had success. Other guys followed him as well, and they were good for us. Hideki Matsui is one of them that was really good for the Yankees, and then we know about Ichiro, and I'm trying to remember others. I can't. Those are the two off the top of my head that come in. But like I said, a 6-year deal, paying them about 4.6 per year. Most likely, we're not gonna get past that second year option, so we'll look to trade him in the in the off season of next year, most likely. Tapia is a pitcher that I really wanted. Man, I really want this guy. I'm not going to be willing to go over budget to do it though in the international slot because I've signed a lot of guys already. I've got the money to do it, arguably. He's at 5 million, I think. Is the last time when I talked to him. Yeah, he's at 5 million. And I have 4 million already offered. Or no, I have spent 4 million and I have 200 and we'll just restart that sentence. So if we look at the Los Angeles Angels, what we spent 4 million so far, just over 4 million, and we have roughly about 2.7 million left on the available funds, um, for a total of 6.8. We have total available is 3.4. Tapea, or that's it, Tapea. I'm calling him Luis Tapea. He wants 5 million, which I usually wouldn't. We don't have a lot of money to actually spend on somebody, and honestly, I think I could trade for this kid later on down the road, even if I have to give up a lot. But I'm gonna stick with what I'm doing. I'm gonna stick with offering organizational depth for the prospects for year one, just trying to get our farm system just a little better as much as we can, bring as many guys as possible. So I see the Tapio we're out on. Uh, we picked up. Hold up, we should start getting into the breaking news. There it is. We picked up Juan Rojas. Um, this is a guy that I paid really cheap for, and I took him because of his high adaptability, high work ethic, and high intelligence. I think this is a potential really good get depending on talent change randomness. We only spent 180,000 on him. You're gonna notice a trend. We signed a lot of low ranking guys that didn't have a lot of interest from other guys into our organization. This was a steal. I like him for his bat. Where we're gonna play him, I'm not sure. I like the loyalty. no greed. His work ethic's medium. Everything's medium about him. So I think this will be a pretty beneficial signing. And after our scout gets back to us, it might be a really, really amazing signing that we made for Beskar. Then we see our Bessar, sorry. Then we see David M. Puda. Man, boy, these names are going to be fun to pronounce. As you can see, this is one of the better signings for us in this window of international free agent signings. He has personality classes unknown, low greed, but with a bad ability and everything. If he 750,000 is what we spent. I thought it was a really good deal. He didn't have a lot of interest, so I knew that we could get him for what we offered, and we got him. So that was a good get here. Here's another guy, just a high leader, high work ethic, which is what I like to look for. Um, that guy will help us in our ranks. Here's another high leader, high adaptability, high work ethic guy. I think we'll probably move him away from catcher. No, we're gonna leave him at catcher, and he'll just be a minor league guy the rest of his career. But I mean, he can't really say anything too much about it. I like to have him in Binda or Nuha. Another guy, just high loyalty, high work ethic, high intelligence, as you guys can see. It's going to be the trend here. We're going to see it in Luis as well. This guy was a flyer. Honestly, this might be a guy that I call up to the minor leagues and trade him early on because I don't think he ever reaches that potential, but I will try to take advantage of his potential and see what we can get out of him. This is a guy that I actually think can be pretty solid with a high leader, high loyalty, and high work ethic. Again, I actually think this guy will develop into something. He's only 16 years old, and he's just 16. So he'll have a few years in our system as well to develop. Valdez, who I thought was a really good get with the high intelligence. We're only average knowledge of him, but with a five pitch mix, if we can just get the curveball to be decent with a four pitch mix, I'm not expecting the changeup. If the changeup develops into something, then that's even a bonus. But I think that this guy could be a middle of the pin for us option, and I'm fine with that with what it costs to bring him in. Then we have Barba here, who I think can definitely be a bullpen guy with his high work ethic. I'm not worried about him reaching the potential. I'm worried about talent change randomness happening, but we don't see any other signs that would be a big worry, and we got him for cheap again. Notice the trend. We got another guy for cheap. Greens on the board. That was what we were looking for. Got him for cheap, so that's what happened there. Um, Here's another guy that we got for cheap. Another bat we're waiting on uh, to see information and things like that on him. Low leader is the only problem I have really. Low adaptability is not that big of a concern for me. Kid's 16 years old, about to be 17 here soon. Herrera we picked up as well. As you guys can see, there's a lot of guys that I'm not going to cover all of them because it's going to take too long. I'm already 8 minutes into covering all of these. I'm just trying to see if there's anybody with like massive potential that way I don't miss out on like a big signing or anything. All right, that was all of it there. See if we can get him. Who cares? I mean, he looks like he's pretty good. So, ooh, that put us over because I offered the other guy, didn't I? No, I offered Tapia. I re-offered Tapia again. Withdraw. So you guys can see, I'm still going through the international free agent process, just trying to get guys for cheap deals that I'm willing to work to pick up people on. We have definitely signed the most people in this window. In this window, there's no doubt about it. You see, cornering the market on international free agent signings on the cheap side. Hopefully, that we hit the pot of gold at the end of it. Um, Valdez and Barber get promoted immediately after joining. Wow, okay. Tapia signs with Cleveland. We will definitely trade for Tapia one day, no doubt about it. All right, guys. So we waited on this guy from Japan. This is the second international free agent signing, not of the not international free agent signings. This is the well, yes, this is the international free agent signing, but it's not the international market free agent signing. So this is a pitcher out of Japan that, if you look at our contract, we just offered a minor league contract with a major league option. For $3 million. I'm hoping that after 30 days that he stays and he just stays in the system. I think this guy can be a pitcher, but I want to see what he can do in AAA. I'm not too convinced yet by his stuff, so we're waiting to get to see him in AAA before we call him up to the majors. I don't like his low movement, so I'm interested to see what he can do on the AAA level. And then international wise, we have, I guess, signing small numbers works. I think this guy's going to be a trade piece later on down the road. I think this guy is a trade piece as well. I do think Mr. David Amputa is probably going to be a player for us. Um, we'll see how he develops. He is still only 16. So we'll see how that goes. And you can see we just kind of filled out our system with decent to regular players, and then we have some one and a half guys that we'll go back and look at as they have some time to develop in our system, and maybe they'll get a little better than what they are now. I think that's all I have for you guys right now. I'm really about ready to try to get to spring training. I don't think we're far away at all. We're in February, so we shouldn't have much um, time left. Here's our final report. So I think he can be a decent fifth starter with a 65 stamina. So we're gonna leave this guy in AAA and see what he can do on the AAA level. And there's our last international signing right here. We're gonna go ahead and get the report on him. This guy might also be another trade piece down the road. Pretty much, I just picked up all those guys for future trade pieces. There was maybe one or two that I think can develop into something nice, and we'll end up keeping them. If they do, this is a guy that I think can be pretty decent for our minor league system, and hopefully we'll see him soon enough making an impact in the minor league system. Those guys are still a long way away. Um, our system is middle of the pack. We aren't running away with our minor league system ranks. We are middle of the pack. We only got four. We have five in the top 200. Um, four of them are outside the top 100, and then obviously we have Cervantes, which I think he could be good, but I'm not sure. He is still only 17, so we'll see if his development takes off here soon. Our finances, real quick, I will show you that after we get out of our day sim. Our finances have been increased to 260 million. Our owner gave us the increase, which is really good to see him do that for us. It gives us a bigger budget to work with, $36 million left to play with that will go to our draft budget and international amateur budget. You see the player development. I think I'm actually going to take my player development up to pretty as high as it can go. I'm going to take it to 36 million. So we'll jump that. And now we have 25 million to spend, which I think we can work with here. Presley will come off the books next year. Clay Holmes will probably come off the books as well. I'm gonna work on extensions off camera when we get to spring training. We're gonna go ahead and go to spring training begins. We're gonna see projections for this year. Um, and then I'm gonna make some call ups for the spring training roster. Get to see some guys and how they do against major league competition. Sorry if I sound all stopped up today. I've been battling with sinuses all day today, so that's a little unfortunate. But such is life, you know. So you can't control it too much, honestly. You just gotta push through it. And I want to give you guys content today. If you can hear me opening up the pills, I do apologize. Um, Man, nose is all stopped up. I'm stopped up and my nose is running. Explain that. Made some good last minute signings in the international free agent list. All those guys can go at this point. I'm just low leader. Throw that guy in a trade. Spring training begins. Let's go to our spring training roster. Figure out. Oh, we've got 60 invites. Honestly, I don't really think there's any prospects I want to see. We'll call it the international guys. I do kind of want to see the guys that we signed out of the international market. Call up Paris, Soriano. There are like some guys I want to see, and then other guys I'm just not really interested in at this moment. They're pretty much minor league pieces for depth and possible trade down the road. So our AAA team looks pretty loaded, honestly, at this point. Our rookie ball league team is. I might need to make some cuts there, honestly. Got some talent coming through the system. We hope. As of now, it looks like we do have talent on the back end. I'm surprised this guy's not ranked. Actually, he might. No, we just checked it. He wasn't. Unless it changed. No, he is. He's at 169. I would expect him to go up, but we'll see who's right, OSA or us. OSA says he's a 5-star player, actually. I think this guy could be really good. I'm hoping he is. He batted 253 last year in rookie ball, so I wouldn't think he stays in rookie ball long. Actually, I'm almost tempted to give him the Class A invite. Let's say he does start the season off in Class A. I might be jumping the gun a little bit, but he looks really good. He's just now 19. He looks like he can be really good. I'm not saying he looks good now. He's got a ways to go, obviously, but we'll see how he does. All right, guys, I'll be back at the end of spring training. Um, let you guys know what is going on and things like that. Tani's potential current and potential stuff ratings drop. Did anyone like spring up? Jordan Davis took a little bit of a leap. That's good to see. Boy, Cunha looks really good. Cunha's set to have a really good year this year. Forget just how good this team actually was last year, honestly. All right, guys, I'll be back with opening day, a quick overview of spring training and things like that as well. And then that'll be the end of part two for the season. And then I will bring the episode of season one, the first few months. I will bring it again, I think, later today. So we're going to go ahead and stop this recording uh, right at the end of the spring training. So I'll go ahead and let this. I'll see you guys after spring training is over. All right, guys, here's all the information from spring training. Oh, Clark Smith 786 worries me big time. I hope he's not like that in the regular season. That's a little worrisome. Ruiz wasn't great. I guess he wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great. But Acuna, Otani, and Trout are seem to be doing pretty well. Trout's average is a little low. It's a little worrisome, but I do expect a regression at some point from Trout. Jordan Diaz with his 290 lived up to what I thought he was going to be. O'Neal Cruz is worrying me with a 184. That's not good to see. Arroyo's 265, McLean's 264, and Dangler's .138 is amazing. Rotation wise, Brash looked really good. I did not put my fifth starter in there. That is my fault. That was dumb on my part, wasn't it? I should have checked that before I said him. Oh well, lesson learned there, huh, boys? Okay, guys, we're at opening day, and just to give you a minor league update on the minor league rank. We are second right now. The only reason we're second is because it counts our two international guys that we signed, uh, Toyosha and Abe. As you can tell, I can't say some of their names, so that's why I said their other names that I could say. How about we just call them TU and SA? TU and SA are gonna count on our minor league list, and that's why, frankly, we're a top system. If it weren't for them, I think we'd be pretty low system, honestly. So, a little disappointing in our the ranking of our system. I think our system is better than the ranking says we are. If you can see, we have a guy like Garrett Crochet in high A ball, or Eric Torres is in high A ball. Whoever it is, like this guy should not never be in high A ball. But for us, it makes sense because it's just balancing out the roster. Honestly, um, I think we will be pretty good this year. He took a progression back according to our scout and according to OSA. Well, OSA still high on him. Maybe we try to trade him out. I don't know. 322 last year for Parker. We'll see what happens with that. Like I said, we have prospects coming, but they're really young guys. We're going to look for some college guys in this year's draft to kind of fill in the gap between our young guys coming up and our older guys. Um, Matt McLean is going to get a shot in the big leagues this year. He has made it through spring training, and he was pretty good for us through spring training. So I think it's only fair that he gets a crack at it. For some reason, it's starting amid Rosario at second base, and that's not happening because I made it to where Matt McLean has to start, and now it's starting Rosario at first base. Okay, I'm not about to fight with this the entire year. Am I really gonna have to set it to where am I gonna have to force start every position and make him our backup infielder, Rosario? That is, because if I am, that's gonna be annoying. I could just switch the lineups, but I don't. For me, it just takes too much time. Did you still put him in the lineup? No. Okay. That's how I wanted it. This game. What happened? This isn't even the roster that I came out of spring training with. Sorry, guys. I didn't even recognize that it's just moving guys around. All right, there we go. Okay. Pitching rotation is how I want it. So we don't have to worry about that. This is how good our rotation, our pitching, our bullpen is. Adrian last year, who was our best reliever and who was dominant in the playoffs, is going to be in the long relief spot with Clay Holmes. That's how good our bullpen is this year. I'm expecting this to be a really good bullpen. Honestly, not everyone's going to perform. Someone's going to have a down year, but we have guys behind them to pick up the slack if that happens. Um, Starting rotation wise, I think we're set to be pretty good. I'm going to try to get Matt Brash on a pretty long deal here and lock him up. And I'm willing to pay that through his future. It's really cheap for who I think is a really good starter. Clark Smith, what are we looking at if I was to try to offer you an extension here in front of everybody? You're 28, so how about until you're 24? No, thank you. We'll just pay your arbitration as that happens. Okay, thanks a lot. Chris Matt, we have locked up already, so we got three of our five starters locked up for, well, four of our five starters locked up for a long time. Excited to see what TU can do for us. A little bit all over the place. Um, I don't get why it's ranking mid Rosario instead of Arroyo, because I think Arroyo is a better shortstop. But it's whatever. The game's acting a little weird right now. It's OOTP in me, so it's whatever. Um, through the system, I think, like I said earlier, we're really good, so I'm not worried about depth this year. Injuries will hurt us, but I think we have guys that can step in and can relieve some of the pain of injuries throughout the season. And honestly, we're going to kind of keep an eye on our young guys and see if somebody can break through. Right now, the prospect that we have that's breaking through the system, and he's still a ways away. I mean, this guy's probably 2 years away. Zavala is still, like I said, a ways away, but at least he's breaking through. And he had a decent year last year in single A, so he might be due to go up to high A. Honestly, I think he is. So we're going to go ahead and bump Zavala there. We're going to go ahead and bump this guy down to give Zavala his starting position. So Zavala's at high A ball. We could very well see Zavala in double A if he jumps a little bit this season. If he has an amazing season, we might even see him in triple A before it's over with. Uh, my secondary infield option is Perez and Alberto. Here, right next to each other, Hanser and Perez. We have backup catchers all over the place, which might come in handy for trades. A lot of backup rotation guys, a lot of backup starters, a lot of backup bullpen. So we're hoping that this is another World Series team. I think it very well is likely that it is. Again, we are top heavy. We're still trying to bridge the gap from the middle of our from the top of our three, our big three, and we're still trying to bridge the gap to our fourth to third. I think it might be a little closer than it says because I expect big things out of TU this year. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.